What will you tell Taylor about bouncing back after a game like Sunday's?
Yeah, as a quarterback, you got to just control the things that you can control, and we started off and we put ourselves in a hole in that game. We had some penalties, we had turnovers, and then you can't press, and they're a very good defense, and they kind of understood what the score was, and they were playing soft and making you throw underneath, and you just got to find completions, and move the ball down the field, and that's the only way you're going to try to get your way back in that game. I mean, I read some of coaches' quotes where there's no 17-point plays. You can only score 7 a possession, or I guess 8 if you go for 2, and so just he just has to make the right decision over and over again and stacking good decisions, and that's how it goes. And it's hard because Taylor's a competitor, and all these guys are, and you look up at the scoreboard and you want to try to do something about it, and the way to do something about it is just to do your job consistently.
There's a stat out there that says Terry leads the league in contested catches, and I'm wondering, what do you attribute that to? Because he doesn't necessarily have like a huge catch radius or anything like that.
He's just really strong, I think that's the thing. He's strong and he's competitive. So when the ball's in the air, he's going to go fight for it and get it. And it's a good thing to know for me, and then also for the quarterbacks, that he's not ever really covered. I mean, he sometimes guys can cover him, obviously, but you get a one-on-one opportunity, like he's going to go more often than not. He's going to bring the ball down, and he's shown it. And some of the ones that he's made over these first couple of games are pretty unbelievable. So I think he's playing really well. But I think more than anything, it's just his physical strength, and then the competitiveness.
Are there things that he's doing at the line or anything like that that helps put him in position to make those contested catches?
It's not so much as the line; it's more just at the catch point. You know what I mean? Like, hey, he sees the ball in the air, and the way you position your body, the timing of when you go up for it or when you show your hands. Those are the things. The things at the line will really help you more with the separation part of it.
Curtis looked today at practice?
Curtis did a great job. I think he did a nice job yesterday. Did a little bit more today. I think he's moving around a little bit. He kind of has a little bit of spring in his steps. So we'll continue to evaluate it, and coach and RV, our trainer, and everything. They'll talk through it, and ultimately we'll see if he's ready to go.
What's it like for you as an offensive coordinator, integrating him back into this offense and kind of getting him back up to speed, basically?
The thing with Curtis, it's always just been when he's physically ready to go. Mentally, he's a guy that really stays in it, and he's a really intelligent player. So he can get back in pretty quickly. So we'll just kind of pick our spots and decide the things that we're going to do with him. But it's not a very big challenge. Just getting him physically ready to go play.
I know we asked you about this last season too, but those first possessions, what do you think is the biggest missing piece there just to get you guys over the hump?
I mean, it's been 3 games, and so it's a small sample size, and this last game, 3rd and 2, and we get a conversion and we get an offensive pass interference. We can't put ourselves in a position to get that type of play, but it was going to be a conversion, 15-yard gain, and you feel good about it. And then so we can't. There's a penalty, and then the next drive we turn the ball over on a converted 3rd down. Back to the Giants game, we had a couple opportunities that we didn't get. And then the 3rd drive, we go 90 yards and score, So there's not a difference between that drive and the other one before. We just have to consistently execute. I got to make sure I evaluate what I'm doing and make sure I'm putting our guys in the best position, to make plays. But just come out, ready to play and play fast. And, there's going to be drive. They're not always going to go great, and whether it's the first drive or the 3rd drive or whatever, ultimately we just got to consistently move the ball and put points on the board, whatever drive it is, and not get too caught up with that.
Does whatever your opponent does on their opening drive, assuming they go first, does that alter your opening script for the game at all?
No, not at all. Yeah, if they get the ball first, that doesn't change anything. I mean, regardless, they score or they don't. At that point of the game, we're just playing ball.
The offense is not about you and your wishes, but this has been now since you got here, never quite has the full complement of everything you kind of would want to have, I'm sure. And then obviously this year you guys get Curtis, hasn't been able to get there yet. Looks like he may be close. I'm sure you got to be itching to finally see what you can do, how the offense can look when you have the pieces out there that you want.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think too much about that, just because, if guys are available, we're going to get, whoever's available, we're going to get ready to play, and we're going to do the best job that we can, to move the ball and score points. You look at the games this year, so, again, I felt good about the offensive performance in the Giants game. I didn't feel good about this last week, with the turnovers and just the mistakes, and they played well on defense, and we didn't match that. Obviously, getting a guy like Curtis back, if we're able to get him back, is going to be a great boost. But whoever ends up playing, there's a certain standard, and we got to play with it, and we play to it, and we just got to keep getting better. We got to perform better than what we did on Sunday, because obviously, that's not good enough when you turn the ball over 3 times, and don't score enough points to win.
Obviously, part of the reason you get Curtis is to help with big plays. Right now, you guys are averaging, I think, fewer plays of 20 or more yards than you did last year. Obviously, it's only 3 games. But if he isn't back then, and you're saying these other guys can do it, what do you need to do to get bigger plays from the group that you do have?
I don't think you can think hey, we're going to try to force bigger plays, because that's when some of the things that we talked about from last week happened. We in the games we played, sometimes the style of team that you're playing will lead to some of that. I was talking about the Giants. They're a team that kind of keeps everything in front of them. Buffalo, we felt like we were going to have a chance to get some big plays. Obviously, we got the big play on the screen, but as the game went on, they were playing with a pretty big lead. They're not going to give you an explosive play, those types of things. But we got to throw it down the field. Obviously, we got to protect up front. And we just got to keep taking shots at it, because that's how it's going to happen. And then with the quarterback, he just has to understand, we take those looks. If they're not there, just get the ball checked down, and we can get at it again.
Ron talked yesterday about the young players and how they've grown a lot in the first 3 games, but also shown some experience. What have you thought of the play of some of the rookies on your offense and how they performed?
You're saying playing the rookies more? Sorry, there's people talking in the background.
Yeah, I was just saying, Ron talked a little bit about the inexperience of the rookies, but also they've shown growth in some games. What have you thought about their performance in the first couple?
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, I mean, we've been playing some young guys. You look at Sam Cosme. I think he's consistently gotten better. The pass protection has been pretty good, especially the last 2 weeks. He's done a nice job, and he's just learning how to play and fight through it. Diami, it was a little bit rough for him on Sunday, but that's going to happen with the young guy. Still have a lot of confidence in him, and I think that you get an experience like that, you're going to grow from it, and continue to get better. Other than that, rookie wise, I mean, you had JP, and he hasn't really played a ton. We've had Antonio and JD obviously, and I think Jarrett's going to play at some point, and he's been ready, and he's done a nice job through practices and everything like that. And then really, that's it. Bates has played sparingly, but he's kind of been in a reserve type role.
Scott, you mentioned last year that you felt like your offense would maybe take a season or 2 to reach its full potential, and today you said that there's a standard that they haven't really met. In your mind, what is the standard? What is that full potential going to look like when all the pieces kind of come together for you guys, ideally so?
Yeah, and I don't know if I said that last year about that. I think Coach was saying that, and because in my mind, we got to go give our team the best chance to win, and that's how I prepare. I don't think about the future. I think about it 1 week at a time, and I can't tell you what it's going to look like as far as big picture, but we just, my thing and the goal with our players is to get better every day. And then therefore you're going to continue to get better every game. Now, like we were talking about, yeah, we'd like to get some more explosive plays. We have to be better on 3rd down. Our thing, I think the issue, if we're better on 3rd down, we're going to stay on the field. It's going to give us more plays, and then then everything is going to kind of grow from there. So, it's 3 games. I don't think anyone is, panicking one way or another. It's just, hey, stay the course, and let's continue to improve so we're playing our best ball later in the season.
Penalties and turnovers aside, what are other ways that you feel like you all could be better on 3rd down, have better production there to stay on the field more and get some of those?
I've looked through all of them, obviously, and there's a wide range of deal. We gotta protect the passer, which has been better the last couple of weeks. Just keep making consistent decisions. We've had some drop passes, and then I got to do a good job personally, and really it starts with me of making sure that we're in the right type of plays in order to attack the defense and get those plays that are necessary.
Let me ask a quick follow-up. What is a play like? Is there an example of a play that you, looking back at it, you would like to do differently? You would set your guys up a little bit differently. Any examples you could share?
No, I mean, I can't think of one totally off the top of my head. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes through my mind after games that you'd like to go, but kind of you call the play, you roll with it, and then you make your corrections as you go.
Take two more.
I guess we're saying like 3 games is a small sample size. I know like 16, 17 games isn't a huge sample size either, but is there a point in a season usually where you come to think like, okay, this is generally how things are going? Is there I don't know if there's a number, but do you get to a point where you feel like you know where your offense is at?
I don't know if there is. I mean, I think at some point you do. I can't put an exact number on it. There's hopefully, we can keep this group healthy and work through it. Just going back to like last year, because it was, the most recent thing we had a lot of moving pieces. So we were kind of just, making it work as we go and giving ourselves a chance to win. I think, you get to that, close to halfway point, maybe a little before, and you get a feel for kind of, who you are. Again, hopefully you're playing with the same quarterback at that point. But, and playing a variety of opponents tells you too. You play 3 teams, you only play 3 different defenses. So, that gives you, that's more the small sample size than actually the number of plays,
Can I ask one just about the tight ends?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that group overall? Do you want them more involved? Do you like kind of their involvement already? Just your general assessment.
I feel good about it. I'd like to get, same like when I talk about Terry, like I'd love to give Terry the ball as much as possible. I'd love to give Logan the ball as much as possible too. And that speaks to kind of what I was saying before about, we need more plays, we need longer drives, and staying on the field is going to get us that. And then Ricky, we can get him on the field more, potentially with a little bit more 12 personnel. We've been a lot of 11, but get him going because obviously he's shown that he can make some plays and he's going to compete both in the run and pass.